could hear you. So now let us move on to critical success factor. Critical success factor. So what is critical success factor? Simply put, critical success factor is something or those things that we must have in order to thrive in a business, in a market, to venture into a new thing. Without these critical success factors, thriving or accomplishing becomes extremely difficult. Like if somebody is preparing visibility study and the like, part of what must be considered is critical success factors in business planning. If you are putting planning in place, you must consider what are the critical success factors. So that is things that must be for this business to function, to stand the test of time. All these things must be present. Critical success factors are factors that are essential to the strategic success of a business. They have been defined as those components of strategy in which the organization must excel to outperform competitor. That was definition from GSW, Johnson Schools and Whittington. When management are analyzing a market or customer in the market, they should try to understand which factors are essential to succeed in business in this particular market. So all those factors are what we call critical success factor, CSF. So key performance indicators. Key performance indicators. Basically, when we are talking about key performance indicators, we are talking about critical success factor. The difference is that critical success factors are a bit subjective, but key performance indicators are objective. What do I mean? Why critical success factors may not be measurable? Measurability is involved in key performance indicators. KPIs must be measurable. How can we know key performance indicators or critical success factors? Let's say we want to go into a new market. We could understudy some of the organizations, producers that have gone ahead of us in that industry. What makes them successful? Those are critical success factors. That does not mean we will be able to replicate it in total, but that gives us an idea as to how we should go about our business too. Critical success factors are also important in strategic implementation. So by the time we are executing and fleshing up our organization, we must consider all these aspects of our operations, which we know will make us successful. Critical success factors should be identified during the process of assessing strategic positioning. Which organization do we want to form? What do we want to be selling? So we must consider, do we have what it takes to be in that market? So those things that it takes are the critical success factors. They are also important in strategic implementation. They are important in measurement of performance. In fact, measurement of performance must be built on critical success factor. And the measurability side of it is what we call key performance indicator. So let us see the dimensions that Johnson and Schools have to add to critical success factor idea. So Johnson and Schools' 6-step approach to critical success factors. So these are the 6 steps that JSW or JS specifically give to us, Johnson and Schools, in approaching critical success factor. First of all, we should identify the critical contributors to our profitability. What will make this business we want to venture into to be profitable? We must be able to identify them from the onset. Then, having identified them, we must build our core competencies around the identified factors. So the second step is identify what is necessary, that is the critical competencies, in order to achieve a superior performance in the critical success factor. So having known what we need to do to make us profitable, the first step. Then the second step is we must develop ourselves to have core competencies in it. Having done that, the next step is to develop the level of critical competence so that it acquires the ability to gain a competitive advantage. So now, having known critical competencies required, we must begin to develop ourselves in those areas. Then after we've done that, we must identify key performance indicators. That is, we must turn all those core competencies to measurable factors. We must be able to put figures on them so that it could be measured. So step 4 is about the measurability or KPI. You see that I link together measurement and KPI because that is the difference between it and critical success factor. After we've done that, we should give emphasis to developing critical competencies to everybody in the house. That is our employees, management staff, and everybody. We must continue to emphasize it that everybody must develop himself or herself to this level of competence. Then after we've done that, we must continue to monitor. That is, check our KPI that we've set for ourselves. Are we meeting the target that we've set for ourselves? So that is the monitoring aspect of the step. So now we are moving on to competitors benchmarking. Competitors benchmarking. So what do we mean by benchmarking our competitors? Benchmarking is a process of comparing our own performance against the performance of someone else. Preferably the best of the best in our industry. So when we say we are benchmarking, we are simply saying we are trying to compare our performance or what we do, the services we are rendering, the goods we are producing against other competitors within the same niche or market segment that we operate. And a lot of benchmarking could be achieved. We can benchmark almost anything. So we have some types of or methods of benchmarking: internal benchmarking, operational benchmarking, competitors or competitive benchmarking, customer benchmarking, and so many more. Let's pick aforementioned